Hi, I'm Tia Shashai, the host of Millennial High Live, where the trend-setting millennial comes for motivation, inspiration, and deep conversation. On today's show, we have Anumanisantos, the modern-day shaman, best-selling author, and many, many more things. But keep it locked because you'll find out what those are. And she has her awesome sound healing bowl. So we're going to do this awesome sound meditation, right, Anumani?
Yes, that's right.
And a little...
So we'll do a little teaser.
Oh, I love it.
So you'll hear some of this sound on the show.
So stay tuned, okay?
Hey, it's event producer Josh Schoenwolf, and you're listening to Philadelphia's hottest inspirational talk show, Millennial High, hosted by the amazing Tia Shashai.
It's your girl, Tia Shashai, the host of Millennial High, where the trend-setting millennial comes for motivation, inspiration, and deep conversation. We here at Millennial High are extremely happy. I'm so excited and so I don't know, I feel so good and tingly inside that I have Anumanisantos here. On Millennial High, finally, I met Anumani a year and a half ago, but we'll talk about that a little bit. And I'm just thrilled to have her here. Award-winning author, speaker, and modern-day shaman. And we're going to get into it today. You know, we're going to, Anumani is going to share her journey and just really just great advice for those who want to take it a step further in life, or if they feel stuck and, you know, they want to get beyond that and follow their heart's or their soul's desire. So, Anumani, hi.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here with all of you and your listeners.
Yay. We're about just being open and honest and super vulnerable here on the show. And we all just arrived like 5 minutes ago. There is so much traffic out in the city. I have no idea what's happening. And if you're familiar with Philly Cam, our studio is an old city. So it's like 6th and Market, near 6th and Market. And every single street that leads to Market is closed. And I text Anumani, I'm like, listen, I don't know how you're coming here, but there's a lot of traffic. I have no idea what's happening. So if anyone knows what's going on in the city today, if there's a parade, I don't know what it is, but just give us a call and let us know, because I'm just willing to hear why I was an hour late. Not really an hour late, but I like to arrive at the studio about maybe 45 minutes ahead of time, to get everything together and to talk to Anumani before we go on air. So we just showed up. But because of the show, the nature of the show, I want to play a song by one guest. She was here maybe a few months ago, and she's so awesome. She's this songstress here in Philadelphia. Her name is Sarai Nicole, and I'm going to play one of my favorite songs by her. It's called Melanin. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Anumani, and we're going to vibe out. So until then, just stick around. And this is Sarai Nicole, Melanin.
Toffee 10, butter pecan, cinnamon, peanut butter, like no other, caramel delight, chocolate, white milk, silk, Snickers, sisters and brothers love one another when we hug, blend like a mug of hot cocoa, local licorice, superb dish, nothing less than exquisite, magically delicious, splendid, plum to red bone, list goes on, rich in flavor, young forever. We got the cocoa. one is technically covered in melanin. Melanin that lives in every single organ, and that includes your heart. Melanin, the pigment that gives human hair, skin, and eyes that color. And we are more than just glaze. We have always been engraved, coding and clothing our DNA. And the darker the skin, the more melanin you store and save. It's a beautiful thing to know that my skin won't fry. It reflects the sun in the sky, and the sun implies a connection, the join in the bond that we share. And I am the element of the stars that soar and glare. Skin sculpted by stardust. My skin is more than a crust, protecting my inner core, outer core glow. So absorb every ray, letting the sun polish you. Because this is a celebration of not only pigmentation, melanin that drinks ultraviolet radiation. Know and tell to all the generations. We got the go-go-go. Gold, my melanin says so. Sarai Nicole, drenched in gold, my melanin says so. Sarai Nicole, drenched in gold, my melanin says so. Sarai Nicole, drenched in gold, my melanin says so.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to 106.5 FM. I'm your host, Tia Shashai. This is Millennial High, and I have Anumanisantos here in the studio with me. Anumani. Amazing. I was so... Okay, so I met Anumani at an event. And I was just so drawn to her. I think I emailed you after the event, right? I think I did. But I was just so drawn to her. Like, just her spirit, her energy is amazing. And she's so calming and like centered. I don't know, because, you know, if anyone knows me, like you all should know me by now. I am super like hyper energetic and talkative. But when Anumani's around, I'm just like, tell me more. Like, you know, I'm definitely like the student. But Anumani is amazing. She is a modern day shaman, motivational speaker, award-winning author, coach, and an artist that enriches audiences with her powerful and transformational presence, opening hearts and inspiring minds to new possibilities and a deeper knowing of who they really are. Her greatest passion is empowering transformational leaders, healers, messengers, and conscious businesses to understand their reason for being and bring their gifts and soul's genius to the world. Anumanisantos. So, how do you feel right now?
Really great.
Yeah.
To be here.
Okay.
And was just asking the divine to speak through me today.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I love about you, and I love about the show, because, you know, I like a candid conversation. You know, I give you a general outline, but I feel like what comes from the heart, like it's not like completely prepared, you know, but like you speaking from the heart is what I want the listeners to hear, because that's how I know you. So tell us a little bit about, I know I just read your bio, but, you know, a little bit about your story, because I knew you started out in the corporate world and now you're a modern day shaman. And I want to say something about that really quick. It's just that I told someone's like, oh, who's on your show tomorrow? And I was talking about you. And then she says, aren't shamans men? So I just want to lead up to that. Okay. But tell us a little bit about your journey.
Sure. So I did start my journey as actually an electrical engineer. And as a little girl, I remember having these amazing flying dreams. And I always remember being placed back in my bed by the angels. But I think around the age of 8 or 9, I was talking to a family member, a cousin of mine, and he said, "You're crazy," because I was talking about out-of-body experiences, and he just didn't understand. And I just shut myself off. So I stayed in the corporate world for many years, worked in consulting, ended up at a small student lending company in Wilmington, Delaware, running their marketing department and doing internal consulting for the organization. And then in 2003, that's when I had my dream of awakening. And in the dream, I was in an elevator, and there were 3 other women with me. And you know how in the movies, the cable breaks loose, and we were just shooting down this skyscraper. It made a hole through the side of the building, and we started skidding over this muddy water. And there was this woman on the left bank of the river who I believe was my guardian angel. And she pulled me out, and so many things happened in the dream. I lost my wedding ring. I was married at the time. But it was the voice at the end that really shook me. The voice said, "My child, I have a mission for you. You're not going to understand what it is right now, but be patient, because in time it will all be revealed." And the first thing I did was to leave my unhealthy marriage, because I knew that I was being given an opportunity. And, you know, I'm all about the soul. And the soul tries to get your attention. And all that time I had been resisting and ignoring my soul. But in that dream, the energy was so powerful, I couldn't ignore it. I knew it was a sign that I needed to change my life. And so that was the beginning of me doing that. I like to call it unleashing your soul's genius. And that is the first step. You have to choose you. So whatever you believe in, God, source, creator, universe, your soul is going to speak to you in many different ways. And you have to just pay attention. Sometimes it comes in small ways. You may not have a dream like I did. You may have somebody come up to you and say something that you go, "Oh my God, like that's the answer to my prayers," or "I've been asking about that." And so for me, the message was in the dream, because they had to knock me offside my head a little bit, because I was just resisting. But my body was breaking down. I started having fainting spells. And so your body speaks to you, right?
Yeah.
When people talk about mind, body, spirit, that connection, you know, many times we don't pay attention to what our body's saying. And my body was saying, like, there's something wrong inside of you. And I wasn't paying attention.
And I'm sure, because most of us, like you said, it can, the voice or whatever, when we know that it's time to do something different than what we're doing now, it does happen in subtle ways. And I'm a dreamer too, you know, like I feel like I have a lot of interesting dreams, but nothing so powerful that it makes me change the course of my life. So, I mean, when you decided to leave your job, like, did you know what you wanted to do next? Like, did your soul tell you that?
Well, I didn't leave right away. And I tell my tribe and my clients, there's always a transition period, because there's a part of you, right? There's still that human part of you that has to live in the real world and the physical world. And you have to, there's going to be stages of fear. I had them, and there's still times when I'm afraid. But now I have the tools, right, to be able to go back to that place of centeredness and groundedness. So it's listening to the little things. I believe that we are given chances to begin to trust and have faith in small movements, so that when the universe asks us to do something big, that we're ready for it. So I tell your listeners, you know, you don't have to have a dream like I did. You just have to start paying attention and being aware of the messages that are coming to you. Sometimes it comes just in a gut feeling, like, you know, ooh, this isn't good for me anymore. Right. This isn't healthy. You might be in a relationship, or you might be in a job that's sucking your soul, right? So I stayed in corporate still while I was doing my spiritual work. And the thing is, they're not separate. We are not separate from that part of ourselves.
What do you suggest the listener, what do you suggest they do? Like, so just maybe journaling, like just writing down those subtle moments, like, hey, you know, someone said this to me, which is interesting, because sometimes you forget, you know, like, so, and then they look at it and they say, okay, well, there's like an ongoing message here that I'm getting. Is that something that you did?
Absolutely. I've been journaling, gosh, for over, I would say, 10 years. As it was one of the practices that I started learning early on in my journey, and started practicing, you know, daily. And sometimes if you can't do it daily, if you can do it a couple times a day. So I meditate twice a day, and I journal quite a bit. And journaling is very healing. Anytime that you begin to write, but you write from your heart, you know, no judgment, just letting the emotions and the feelings come out, the words that need to be said that maybe you're afraid to say to somebody else. That is very healing. But the first step is really choosing you. The journey that we're all on is an inside journey. I lived my life mostly from the outside in. So I would love for your listeners to just begin to pay attention to that. Start choosing you. And what I mean by that is moments of loving yourself. We have to learn how to fall in love with ourselves again. It is the place where your soul, the portal to that part of you that's bigger than this human body, exists. And it's that place of love that's going to help you achieve your dreams, step into your greatness. It's your birthright. And that's why this really makes my heart sing, because I didn't have people growing up that understood what I was experiencing. And now I can be that for my tribe, for people, you know, even my own family and the younger generation.
How did you overcome, because I know that you, when you were younger, you were having these dreams, these out-of-body experiences, OBEs as they call them, right? But to kind of silence that part of you and then now be so open and free to talk about it to anyone. How did you overcome that?
Lots of inner work and amazing people coming into my life. I would tell everyone that is so important. Part of choosing you is also finding a community that supports you, like-minded people. I had amazing mentors show up in my life, people with messages for me. And you know, even my family, when I started getting more comfortable, I would tell them about things, and they were just so supportive. And they don't always understand, but I'm at the place where I said, I'm not hiding anymore who I am, because the minute you choose to say yes to who you really are, the universe just sends you everything you need to support you. And that's what started happening with me.
When you said that, I started thinking about this one. I don't know if his name is Srimuji Baba. Like I listen to him often, and he says something similar, like exactly what you're saying. Is like, you know, when you choose to move as an individual, you know, that's when you kind of experience like the heartaches, just the stress, the stresses of life, right? But when you look at yourself not as an individual, but as something, a part of the greater existence, part of a greater existence, I guess, you start to move as like a force where, you know, everything that you need comes to you. So when you said that, and you know, it sounds so nice, you know, it sounds so freeing, but doing that, I think the actual, because you can say all these things, you know, we can say this, I can listen to so many speakers, but putting it into action is really the hardest part. And I know that you went over just like journaling, learning to love yourself first, choosing you first. So how can someone start choosing themselves?
Little acts. one of the exercises I give all my clients is to do mirror work. And some of them really hate it. They go, I can't do that, or why should I do that? There's a reason why I started doing it years ago. Louise Hay, if you've heard of Louise Hay, that was one of her practices. And I have really taken that on, and I use it with my clients. Because when you can stand in the mirror and look in your own eyes and say, I love you, and say your name, right? I do it every day. I love you, Anumani. Something starts to happen. It's like you start to reprogram all those limiting beliefs, right? You start to reprogram the social conditioning of how you were raised, what the people around you have said that you can or cannot do. The truth is, you can do whatever your heart's desires are, and you need to believe that. And part of building that trust in yourself, building that love, is to saying to yourself every single morning, you have to go to the bathroom to brush your teeth, right?
Exactly.
So it's an easy way to incorporate that into your day. And then I do, affirmations in front of the mirror. I start doing visualization. I'm big on visualization. In fact, that was one of the first things that I started doing on my journey. I bought Shakti Gawain's book, Creative Visualization, and I discovered that it was very easy for me to connect to the higher realms and visualize what I wanted. So if you want to be a speaker, you visualize yourself being a speaker, right? If you want to be a healer, you want to be an author, you visualize yourself doing that.
Yeah. So I don't want to break now, right? But so I know a few things that I want to talk to the listeners about. So we're filming also for Millennial High Live. So we have Marcus in the studio, and he has the cameras in here, and it's a really cool thing. And so I definitely want you to, when this comes out in December, every Tuesday in December at 1 p.m., you'll see Anumani, because she, when I go to the break up next, she's going to do something really cool for the viewers of the show, with her sound bowl, her sound healing bowl, and she's going to do something awesome. So I'm so excited about that. So talk about the importance, before we get into, the sound meditation healing. Why is this important?
Doing the sound healing?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I call myself a modern day shaman because I was not trained in the jungles, and a lot of shamans come from a lineage. And yes, many people think shamans are just men. There's a lot of women shamans, and shaman really is healer. And, I call myself a modern day shaman because I have the ability to travel between realms, and I use my voice and sound to help heal. And why is sound so important? It's the same reason why there's certain songs that really touch your heart. Sound transcends the mind, and we're all here trying to transcend our ego mind that's trying to stop us. The sound goes directly into your body wherever you need it. And so I was told because I started with hands-on healing, and the divine said, no, you need to serve a lot more people. You're going to be using your voice because sound goes directly to where the body needs it. And so I use singing bowls, I use rattles, I sing, I speak in what I call a soul language. It's kind of like speaking in tongues. If you've ever experienced anything like that, you know that it goes into your body and into your heart.
Yes. Okay, so listeners at home, you're going to hear this one song right now. It's by Alicia Keys, which I love. And I can't, why is the name escaping me right now? It's called Sure Looks Good to Me. And I find it appropriate for this entire show, especially for the conversation that we're having with Anumani, because, well, I'll let you figure it out. Listen to the lyrics. And then we'll come back with more of Anumani. If you have any questions, message
me. So those of you listening, just bring your breath into your heart. the place where that divine part of you exists. And I'm just going to bring some sounds and some words that may come through me, that may channel through me to help you release whatever is there in the way of you stepping into your greatness.
You are love and you are light.
And just holding the expression that you want to be in the world, visualizing that picture of you in your heart, feeling beautiful pink light swirling in your heart, inside of you, around you, holding you in that space of fulfillment, your heart's desires being manifested in the world, all that you are. For within you there's something so unique that only you can do in the way that you can. I honor your soul, I honor who you are, and ask you to honor the love that you are.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to 106.5 FM. I'm your host, Tia Shashai. We are halfway midpoint through the show. You just heard FKA Twigs, Good to Love. I love FKA Twigs. Oh my God, I love her. That was Good to Love. And before that, it was Alicia Keys' Sure Looks Good to Me. And I love both those songs, and they're so appropriate for our show today and our guest here in the studio, Anumanisantos. Hi.
Hello.
So on break, while you were listening to the beautiful songs, we were listening in the studio to Anumani and her sound healing meditation that you'll see on the TV show in December, Millennial High Live. And can you just explain what you did? I mean, I had to play a second song because I felt like I went into like this trance state because it was so beautiful. Can you just maybe verbally explain what you did a little bit?
Sure. So I'm a channel. I never know what's going to come through me, but what I was being guided to do was to help people drop into their heart center, because as I said, it's really the focal point for all of us. And I made some high-pitched sounds, which really I'm just going with the flow of what's coming through me. And then I spoke some words around guiding people to take some breaths into their heart center and to begin to visualize themselves as the person they want to be in the world. And then we brought some beautiful pink light. Pink light is the color of the higher heart, and all these colors have vibrations. So I was bringing in different vibrations to help people go deeper into their heart, and then if there's something there that's in the way, that they could release it.
Yeah, so it was beautiful, you guys. I mean, it was so beautiful. I think I saw the line flash, but you can call back if you... I'm sorry I didn't pick up.
we were traveling
right?
in another world.
I have to say this. I am so happy is not the word. I'm just so feeling in love right now, because I've known Anumani and I've wanted to have her on my show for so long. But to be honest with you, I was a little nervous because I know some of your beliefs some people don't believe in. But I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't care, because this is what I want, or this is what the show is about. So not only do I love talking to just people who've, left their corporate business to start their own business, but what's really important to me for Millennial High is also to share with listeners just a different way of being. Sometimes you might not even know what a shaman was until today, right? But it's to introduce you to that. And this is what I believe in, this is what, lights up my heart center, and I just finally comfortable within myself, within the show, to finally have Anumanisantos on the show, because she's just so vibrant, and you have to hear her. You have to be around her. You have to listen to her. I mean, she's just an amazing being. So I had to say that.
Oh, thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit more. I know you wrote a book. It's called Unmasking Your Soul. And how did you come up with that idea?
It wasn't me.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. So probably 2014, I met my book mentor, Christine Closer. And I had been told, actually, I had gone to a meditation class, and that was the way I found out that I was a healer. A woman just randomly came up to me and said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I'm in marketing." And she goes, "Do you know you're supposed to be a healer?" And that opened the doorway for a lot of things, including writing. And I knew there was a book inside of me, and there are many books. In fact, I'm going to start writing again, because Unmasking Your Soul is a trilogy. So it's volume 1 of 3. But I was stuck in fear. And I knew that I needed someone to help me move forward. And Christine was the one. She's been her community, really. I've stayed friends with a lot of the folks that are co-authors. I was first published in a book called Pebbles in the Pond. And it was through that doorway that then I had the courage to start writing my book. And it was a complete download for those of you who may not understand that it's kind of like when something drops into your body and you start getting information. And I knew I needed to write this book. And it's basically taking the reader on a journey of transformation. And the stages are truth, light, and healing, really with what I was talking about, helping you unleash your soul's genius, helping you be you in the world, live your purpose, because it is your birthright. And for me, one of the things that was in the way was worthiness. I remember when I had that dream, I said, "God, why did you choose me? I just didn't feel worthy of doing this work." And I just want to remind your listeners that even if you've been raised in a certain religion, I always say that what connects us all is love. And I'm here to help people remember that. So I'm just using sound and my voice to be able to help you do that. There are so many different ways to get to that deeper place. So I just ask you to be open and let love guide you.
Now, that was beautiful. So I know that there are 3 things that you said that are the cause, or maybe the basis of not showing up to the world as your true self. And self-love, self-worthiness, and self-power.
Yes.
So self-worthiness, I feel like that's what you said yours was like not feeling worthy go ahead.
They're intertwined, because you need to accept who you are. You need to feel worthy of what you're being asked to do in the world. We all have a purpose, even businesses, right?
Yeah.
There's a term now, conscious capitalism, bringing higher purpose into why you exist. And I know that millennials especially want to make this a better world. I want to make this a better world because I have younger generations following me who want to be able to do that. So to me, this is non-negotiable. You do it gently to not overwhelm yourself, to begin to remember who you really are and start loving yourself and get people around you who are going to love you back into being. That's one of my favorite terms.
So important. I love that, to love you back into being.
Yeah. And with that, you start to have bouts of courage like I did, and I would take a step forward, and then I would come to another place and I was scared, and I would call somebody up or go to a retreat and get the courage again to move forward. And I find that in every step that I've had to take, I've had people showing up for me to remind me, like, Anumani, you need to do this. This is why you're here. People need you to do your work, right? And I'm saying this to your listeners because we all have a purpose in the world.
Exactly. That reminds me of, do you know, well, you could know him, I don't know, but do you know of Michael Bernard Beckwith?
Yes.
And he says, remember to remember, because it's so true, because especially, like you said, we have that physical part of us that we are in this world. We have to acknowledge that we're here. We have a human life. And sometimes you forget, like while you're in the midst of things and you're living, things are like, the interesting thing is, and I tend to forget when things are going well, right? It's so weird. Yeah. I tend to forget when things are going well. It's just like you forget the practice, like it's an ongoing practice. It's like, okay, I have everything that I wanted, everything I needed. Yay, things are going fine. And then you're like, oh, but it can get better. It can, it's sometimes people are okay with kind of like just a step above mediocrity, like just being a little bit above mediocre, right? And you forget that there's things that you can achieve that are greater than anything you can even think of for yourself. And sometimes we just hover and like live like right above mediocre, because we forget that we can do so many different things unless you have that tribe, like you have that tribe of people, like your friends and your mentors, to kind of say, hey, remember who you truly are. Remember to remember.
Yeah. And there's an even more important aspect, which is soul. Your soul already knows what you're here to do. It knows what actions you need to take. And it wants to build a relationship with you. So that is the other part that's important that I needed to remember, that aspect of me wanted to guide me. And it's always your most powerful guru. I believe that we can heal ourselves, that we are our most powerful gurus. And yes, we need teachers and people to help us along the way. But I think of myself more as a way shower. I'm opening the doorway and holding the space for you to find yourself again.
I love that. Okay, so what's next for you? I know you said that you're writing a book, but what are some other really cool things that you're doing?
I am going to be speaking at the She Biz conference in Philadelphia on November 17th with Diva Girl Philly and the Ascendant Group. And I'm going to be speaking about the power of leading from the inside out, embracing your womanly greatness to be a conscious leader. So I hope you guys can join us there. I'm on an online summit right now, which starts tomorrow. It's Mind, Body, Synchronicity, being the CEO of your own happiness.
I love that.
And hoping to, do some more workshops in the area, expanding more of my speaking. And I'm actually going to be doing something that's very deeply spiritual, channeling with a woman who lives in Scotland. And she's going to be channeling, we're going to be channeling some of what we call the cosmic Christed energies, which really is that expanded place of unconditional love. And our first webinar is going to be on November 23rd. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see all the information. I'm going to be doing more things like that, hoping to partner with people to bring more of this work to the world and really help people step into their greatness. That's my greatest joy.
So I know that I was listening to a previous interview of yours, and you said the majority of people tend to have some type of like awakening, maybe like in their 40s or 50s. But then you said, but now you're seeing that earlier, younger generations are saying like, wait a minute, like I don't want to join the rat race. There has to be something else. So what is your experience with that? And what is one piece of advice you can give to millennials, really, because this show is like, it's my audience, it's my focus, to kind of step into their own, create their own path?
Yeah, find those around you who support that. I mean, I have millennials in my family that know there are healers because I tell them, and little ones, even I have a 4-year-old great niece who is very intuitive, and she says stuff and her mother goes, oh my God, like, how does she know that? So we are all here to support one another and encouraging, especially the younger generation, right, to not have to hide who they are. I hid most of my life. I pretended to be somebody that I wasn't. You're already coming to this world with the desire to have and create a better world. Use that to connect with each other, to create your own support groups and continue to speak your truth, right, to the world and to bring your gifts to the world and encouraging others to do the same. I didn't have anybody to do that for me, but I'm so happy I can do it for the younger ones in my family and those who come and see me when I'm doing my talks and my workshops. So there's so many people, online now. There's Facebook groups, there's meetup groups. So find your tribe and support one another and don't be afraid, and find the people who are going to help you to get to where you want to get to.
And the interesting thing is, you're right. It's so easy to find your tribe now online. I mean, there are so many different communities out there. Or maybe if you can't find your tribe, then start one.
Yes.
Start one. And so that's one thing that I want to do here is that I want to just start having, different just meetups and groups to kind of like unleash, like Anumani says, to unmask, who are we really? Who are you really? I think that's so important in this day and age because it's so easy to get lost. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like you always have to be online and there has to be a presence online. So it's like yourself is like split almost because you have two now personas. You have your everyday, I'm going to work, you see me in person, but then you have your digital life that now you have to manage. So one more thing, do you have any advice for those how should they handle that digital life, being on social media, always feeling like you have to post about it to be about it? It doesn't exist if you didn't post about it, right? That's the what my audience is going through now. Like I just went to a meetup the other day and we kind of did like this temperature check, 1 to 5, and 1 being like life sucks, 5 being like everything's amazing, and we were all at like 2s and 3s because we all feel like, hey, everyone's doing all these great things and we're just here. But it's funny because everyone I'm thinking are doing great things, we're all at the table with me. We're all at the same level. So what advice do you have for a situation like that or feeling that way? How to overcome it?
Yeah, you have to. This is where you have to trust because I believe that when you really drop into who you are, you actually are going to attract your tribe. Mm-hmm. And so I think of my old marketing sales days, it was more grasping. You're trying to pull people into you. And the more you drop into who you are, the more you love yourself, the more you feel worthy, you step into your power, people start to show up without you having to do all of that. And I would just encourage you, I love online as well, but I find it difficult to keep up with everything. And I just say to myself, okay, I'm going to trust that what I can do is enough, because I also have to take care of myself. And so when I talked about choosing you, it's also about choosing you in terms of your self-care, right? You can't be to the world what you want to be if you're not filling your cup first. So remember that. Always fill your cup first. Always choose you first. Love yourself. I have a pit crew of people who help take care of me, an acupuncturist and massage and a healer. And I do that because I know I need to be as clear and as pure, right, when I'm serving, and that I need to choose me. And self-care is a priority for me. And that means that sometimes I can't do all the Facebook stuff. And
I love that. You're absolutely right. Right. You're just going to trust and believe that what you can do is enough. Oh my gosh. That was just like the best statement I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't know why. And it's like this, it is so deep to me right now. Like that really like touched a part of me. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Trust and believe that what you are doing is enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you are enough in all ways.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Anumani. Thank you for coming. It's been an hour. Isn't that crazy? It's been an hour already. And I know that we have the Delilah Robbins show up next. But I just feel just amazing right now. And don't forget to tune in to this replay will be up, I would say maybe in 3 or 4 days, but in the month of December, every Tuesday from 1 to 2, right, Marcus? From 1 to 2, it is Millennial High Live, and you will see Anumanisantos' episode, and you will get to experience her sound healing meditation that she did for us off air, and it was amazing. So I was too afraid to do it on air because I'm like, are people driving? I don't want them to like go into this weird trance in the middle. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely check out Anumanisantos. She is amazing. And what's your social media? How can they follow you?
Yes, you can come to my website at www.anumaniSpeaks.com. And I'm also on Facebook. If you type in Anumani Speaks, you'll find my page. And Anumani Santos and Instagram, etc., LinkedIn, and all of that. I want to thank your audience for listening. I am so grateful, and I'm just here to remind you again that you are loved and you are loved.
And it's anumani.santos on Instagram.
Yes.
Just in case you can't find it with that. I thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here once again. And thank you for watching. But as always, enjoy your Sunday. Stick around for Delilah Robin, the Delilah Robin Show. And stay lit, love inspired and true. Until next time, bye.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anumani Santos, and I wanted to thank Tia and WPPN 106.5 FM for having me on their radio show, Millennial High, today. And I'd like to invite you to come to my website at www.anumaniSpeaks.com, on Instagram at anumani.santos, on Twitter at truthlightheal, and I have a couple of events coming up. I'm on an online summit starting tomorrow, November 5th through the 16th. You can find all that information on my Facebook page. I'm also going to be speaking on November 16th at the She Means Business Conference, hosted by Diva Philly Girl and the Ascendant Group on November 17th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I hope you can join us there. And I'll be doing some workshops and other events online. So find me on social media. I look forward to seeing and meeting all of you. And if you're interested, I also do soul discovery sessions for folks. And because you're part of this audience, I will offer you a discounted soul discovery session where you'll get to find out more about what your soul wants you to know about where you're going and where it would like to help you step into your greatness. So you can set that up via my website at anumanisantos.com. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for watching Millennial High Live. This is our 3rd episode, and I was so happy and excited to have Anumanisantos on. She is amazing, dynamic, and please reach out to her. She is just heaven sent. And until next time, stay lit, love inspired, and true. Bye.
I believe our real work is an inside job. It's to discover who we are and what our truth is. The truth part is, are you really clear on who you are and why you're here? So when I was talking about a conscious leader, I said that conscious leaders are aware that there's some sort of service or mission-oriented work they're here to do. And I think that goes for anybody, because I'm a believer that you're here for a reason, whatever that is.
Your ego mind, which is going to try to keep you safe, right, in the places that feel comfortable, right? But to embody who you are, you gotta face those fears. You gotta step in, even if it's scary. Of transformation and change. And I have a lot of women who come to me who are in the same boat that I was in, where I was giving my power away to others. I remember working in corporate in a consulting company, and I was up for assistant partner, and one of my mentors told me that I wasn't waspy enough. I didn't even know what that meant. That was a defining moment for me, because I said I can't work in a place where I have to change how I look, who I am. It was really the beginning of me going to a deeper place and recognizing that I had been living my life for other people instead of living my life for me.
Light, healing. Can you imagine a life where you are free to be you? Where you no longer have to wear a mask and pretend that you're someone you're not? Unmasking your soul takes you on a transformational journey of truth, light, and healing that will empower you to do just that. Become the real you. If you're ready to stop playing small, find your purpose in life, feel empowered to speak your truth, connect more deeply with your soul and the real you, then Unmasking Your Soul is definitely the book for you. With the powerful insight and wisdom found in this book, you'll discover what's holding you back from being the real you, how to connect more deeply with your divine light, how to build the spiritual muscle to access your divine gifts, how to embody the highest version of you, how to lead a soul-driven life every day. Allow the beautiful artwork, poetry, divine teachings, rituals, guided meditations, and journaling exercises contained in this book help you awaken your own divine power, intuition, and wisdom. Discover the truth of your existence and your unique purpose in this life. Walk with me today and remove your mask, the mask that has held you back from radiating your true essence, your true gifts, the true you, a divine, sacred being of light. It's time to shine your light onto the world.